The latest on markets as well as national and international news. Now, on to the top international story today, something that is also important to us as India. Sources tell NDTV Profit that our imports of Russian oil remain the most pressing issue in trade talks with the United States of America. The negotiations led by the USTR are aimed at a comprehensive deal covering goods and services. Now, for more details on this exclusive story, let's go across to my colleague Rishabh, who's been tracking the deal very closely.
Absolutely. What we're picking up with respect to the India-US trade talks that are ongoing is that from an American POV, the biggest issue that has come in, the biggest pressing issue in terms of trade talks is, of course, India's purchase of Russian crude oil as well as various other energy imports. That is something that the US is very keen on, the fact that India weans off these energy imports that are coming in from the US. Remember, several officials, US officials have made comments about how this is funding the Ukraine war, or the war against Ukraine, Russia's war against Ukraine. So that is something that the US is very keen on in terms of increasing India's purchases of energy and oil from the US and weaning off Russia as an import market. What we're also picking up is the fact that the H-1B visas issue as well as trade talks, though both will be kept separate. H-1B is not an issue that is a part of the current trade talks. What we're also picking up is the fact that both the sides are looking at a comprehensive deal that is inclusive of both goods and services. And this is, of course, for the first tranche of the bilateral trade agreement. The fall deadline, both sides continue to remain hopeful of the fall deadline, which is roughly around mid-November or the end of October. What we're also picking up is that Indian investments in the US are something that are being viewed favorably, and that is something that the US is very keen on in terms of getting more and more investments from large conglomerates in India, more and more investments flowing into the US for manufacturing, for other purposes. What we're also seeing is the fact that the talks are being steered currently by the USTR and not the Commerce Secretary, that is Howard Lutnick. The negotiations are happening, of course, between India's chief negotiator Rajesh Agarwal and the USTR, that is Jameson Greer, on the American side. That's the latest update that we have in terms of the India-US trade talks.
Right, and as the India